And thank you for joining us for ABC 7 at 6. I'm Stephanie Valle.
And I'm Eric Elkin.
El Paso is trending in the wrong direction. Today, the county hit an all-time high of new known COVID-19 cases with a whopping 717.
And Stephanie, we also hit a new high of hospitalizations. 438 patients in the hospital right now due to COVID-19. And for some perspective, that number was at 199 just a week ago. That's why you see this steep increase in that blue line. It's now more than doubled. The hospitalization rate, meanwhile, to 28% now. It is because of this spike that city leaders announced new restrictions that will go into effect beginning tonight.
And Eric, among those restrictions, no home gatherings are permitted. Occupancy is rolled back to 50% for non-essential businesses. Restaurants must close at 9 p.m. except for takeout. City indoor sports are canceled and no fans are allowed for outdoor sports. This does not apply to UTEP or the locomotive.
ABC 7's complete coverage as El Paso braces for this new wave of restrictions going into effect just after midnight. Bars are still closed, but some are operating as restaurants. JC Navarrete will join us with that perspective, and Nate Ryan will join us later with how this is impacting local sports. But first, we begin with ABC 7's Brianna Chavez. She was there when city leaders announced the crackdown, and she joins us live. Brianna, Mayor Margo not mincing words today.
That's right, Eric, and he's calling the surge in cases unprecedented, again attributing young adults as part of the problem. Now, the restrictions that you all just mentioned are all in an attempt to help slow the spread of COVID-19.
We did not want to take a step back, but this unprecedented amount of new cases has left us with no option.
No options but to set new restrictions effective Friday, setting El Paso back. Some of those new rules impacting business owners.
I did anticipate it, but I thought that it was going to kick in once the weather started to get colder. It pains me as a business owner to feel like I can't, run my business as I used to, but I also feel that we have ethical, moral, social responsibility to do whatever it takes.
The way it affects me, we see it every time that there is a spike. We saw about a 30% drop in sales, from sales compared to last week.
And I know many of us are experiencing COVID fatigue. We all want to get back to some semblance of normalcy, but we must not let our guards down and become complacent.
Dr. Hector Ocaranza says of the new cases, 52% are between the ages of 20 to 49, saying young adults are driving the cases up.
I know that we think that because we have less probability of dying from it, we should not be taking a lot of responsibility, but we should.
Now, with these restrictions in place, it's important to note that early voting has not been impacted at all. That will continue as is. However, trick-or-treating is still canceled this Halloween. Reporting live in Central El Paso, Brianna Chavez, ABC 7.
All right, Brianna. And business owners are bracing for these new changes after already having to weather the storm these last few months. ABC 7's JC Navarrete has reaction from business owners preparing for a pinch in sales. JC.
That's right, Steph. Good afternoon to you and Eric. At 5 o'clock, we went live inside of Brass Monkey here on Mesa, and that's one of the businesses that is now under new ownership that a brand new owner is trying to get up and running. We're inside another brand new business that is also under new ownership, Keg and Brew, also here on Mesa. Now, after speaking to both the folks there at Brass Monkey and at Keg and Brew, one thing stands out is that both places are looking to weather this storm. Both establishments tell me that they've weathered several storms leading up to tonight's restrictions. They're optimistic that they'll make it through the other side afloat. Brass Monkey is defensive, though, against these restrictions, saying city officials have not done enough to work with business owners throughout this pandemic. Keg and Brew, on the other hand, is a little bit more open to these restrictions if it means COVID-19 cases will begin to drop.
Reach out to guys like us, guys like me, who are really striving, opening things up, small business owners who are struggling, especially now, to come to some type of solution that can make sense. And there's a lot of things we can do.
We're trying to remain positive about the situation, definitely. If it's gonna help keep our community safe in that way, then we're definitely all for it.
Now, we have been hearing around town of establishments kind of hosting as a final hoorah here tonight as the restrictions do go into effect at midnight tonight. So if you do plan on going out, remember to, of course, wear your mask and practice social distancing. But starting tomorrow, all restaurants will be forced to close their doors at 9 p.m. unless it is for takeout reasons. Reporting live here in West El Paso, JC Navarrete, ABC 7.
All right, JC. Meanwhile, city indoor sports are no longer allowed and no spectators are allowed for city outdoor sports. But both UTEP and the FC Locomotive, El Paso Locomotive FC, I should say, are moving forward to have fans at their next games, which are happening just in a matter of days. ABC 7's Nate Ryan continues our complete coverage. Nate.
Yeah, Eric, ironically, the revised guidelines restricting fans from outdoor sporting events do not apply to the two biggest sporting events happening in El Paso this weekend. Here at Southwest University Park, El Paso Locomotive FC preparing to host fans for Saturday night's USL semifinal match against New Mexico United. The match is already sold out. Locomotive will have 1,600 fans here in attendance behind me, but the Locos have hosted 8 home matches so far this season and done so successfully. But in the wake of Mayor Margot's sentiments earlier today, I spoke with Team General Manager Andrew Forrest for his reaction.
Got a ton of protocols that have kept everybody safe to this point. We think we've done an excellent job to follow all this local, state, and national guidelines to keep everyone safe, and we'll continue to do that and monitor everyone and certainly want to keep everybody safe, which we've effectively done for the last couple of months, and we'll continue to do this Saturday night versus New Mexico.
And at UTEP President Heather Wilson coming out with a statement of her own in regards to fans at minor football games, saying that the Miners will be more vigilant in promoting protocols. But really, Eric, the only concrete change that's going to be happening on game day after today is that temperatures will be checked at all stadium entrances. So 2 hours prior to here, Locomotive FC at 7:30, UTEP and Southern Mississippi will be doing battle at the Sun Bowl. It's ironic that we talked about the mandate coming down today from DeMargo with the recent spike in hospitalizations and cases, that this weekend, probably one of the biggest sports weekends in El Paso that we'll see this year. The USL semifinal already sold out, going to be a big match. We're going to be airing that on the El Paso Las Cruces CW, but 2 hours prior up at the Sun Bowl, UTEP and Southern Miss.
All right, Nate, and going to be a busy weekend. We just hope everyone stays safe. And this next story, Stephanie, is really kind of a word of caution.
Right, Eric. Our complete coverage continues later in this newscast. In this week's ABC 7 check-in, Dr. Jorge Burgos is being blunt. Young people are spreading the virus.
We're seeing your parents and we're seeing your grandparents. So if you care about them, just believe this is not fake news. We're not fear-mongering. This is reality.
And that is coming up later in this newscast.